Now to discuss this Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurti, who was at the hearing. Congressman, so happy to have you on. Thank you so much. First, I've got to get your reaction to that shocking body cam video showing the rioters attacking Officer Fanone on January 6th. One of them saying, "I got one," and then we hear Fanone scream as he was tasered, "I got kids." What are you feeling as you watch this?
Disgusted. I feel it's revolting. It also reminds me of how misguided, for instance, some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle were today when they tried to paint some of these rioters, or a lot of these rioters, as actually sympathetic people. And actually, they are criminals, and they need to be brought to justice immediately by the Department of Justice.
This is happening on the day when your Republican colleagues tried to downplay the insurrection violence. One saying, as you said, the rioters were peaceful. They use the term patriots, Congressman. Another saying that it was like a normal tourist visit. I mean, how can anyone look at that video of that day and say that with a straight face, that it was a normal tourist visit and they were peaceful patriots?
I've never seen tourists like that at the Capitol. That was a traumatizing day. That was an insurrection. These are people that came to harm others, to kill a vice president as well as a speaker, and to basically overturn an election. That is the definition of an insurrection. And for these people to claim that what was going on was some kind of peaceful protest, or that people at the Trump rally could not possibly have made it in time to participate in the assault, or that there was some third-party group of people who staged an assault on the Capitol having nothing to do with the folks who participated in the Trump rally was just completely unacceptable.
House Republicans officially purging Congresswoman Liz Cheney from her leadership role because she won't bow to Trump and accept the big lie that led to January 6th. What's going on with the GOP?
I think they have an identity crisis.
I mean, look, honestly, what the hell? I hate to use that language, but we're in crazy town right now.
I think they have an identity crisis. If they were a person, they need to seek therapy. I think that Liz Cheney, she's my classmate. We disagree on a lot, but I don't question her patriotism or her motives, and I don't question her willingness to tell the truth. And in this particular case, I think they've probably elevated her stature in some ways and given her more prominence to speak her mind. Mm-hmm. At the same time, they are doing just complete acrobatics to try to explain themselves on a day like today, where I think at the White House, Kevin McCarthy said, no one questions the legitimacy of the election, which, by the way, is probably the right way to view the election. However, that causes his members consternation who still maintain that there was widespread election fraud. And so I don't know exactly what is going on with the Republican Party, except that we and people like myself, we just have to stand for principle. And, we really have to put our principles above all else.
The hearing got heated today. And
you noticed.
I want to play this moment for you because I want your reaction.
She requested additional support from you. And during that 1.5 hours, either you disobeyed an order given to you by the president to help Mayor Bowser, or the president changed his order and asked you to delay support, or you just plain froze and were indecisive while people were being injured, killed, while hundreds of rioters breached the Capitol, and a nation was traumatized. Sir, because of your actions,
there were 8,000 badged and credentialed police officers on duty.
And you weren't there.
The United States Armed Forces should only be used as a last resort.
You were AWOL, Mr. Secretary.
Did you get the answers you were looking for today?
I think that Mr. Miller showed a certain sneering condescension toward answering our questions. He wasn't there to give us answers. He was there to defend himself and his own ego and his, it was a big CYA for himself. And yet he could not explain, for instance, why it took 1.5 hours just, to say yes to a request, a frantic, urgent request from the mayor of D.C. to please send additional resources. And we didn't even get into the hours it took after that for those resources to actually be put in place. And I think that just was a moment where he didn't have any good answers, and so he was just going to obfuscate, and then he was going to talk about other people being there, and that's why I said, well, you were AWOL, Mr. Secretary, you were AWOL.
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate you coming on. Please come back. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Don.
So we have more.